Welcome back everybody to Rad BMX Builds. We're going to be talking about the bubblegum pink bike, which you may have seen in other videos, and I've talked about it, and it's been in the background, and it's for good reason, because I have a story about this bike, some wins, some fails, and the current status of it. But before we get into it, I have to thank Pop's Bike Shop. Find Pop's Bike Shop right here on eBay, and he's also got a Facebook page right here. So please go give Pop's Bike Shop a follow on Facebook. Check out his eBay page. Pops is responsible for the bubblegum pink, the pink chainring bolts, and the pink mallet stem. Pops is an exceptional powder coater and did one of the finest jobs I've ever seen. All right, this bike right here. This is one of the 25 collaboration bikes that I did with GT, hand built right here in the USA by Craig Turner using chromoly, welded up by hand by him. What an amazing opportunity to have a collaboration like that. And I didn't even know I was getting this bike. So you know we did a run of 25 and I was blessed to get the prototype, the black and white one that I already built. Well, a buddy of mine bought one and it was serial number 4. And when it showed up at my place, another frame and fork was in the box. This is number 25, the last one off Craig's production line. So I now have the prototype and the final one. So I'm really happy about that. Thank you, Craig Turner, for that. I mean, it's been such a fun ride, and it's not ending there. It's only beginning. Craig and I are going to be hanging out at Dirty Fest 3 in Temecula, California on June 6th, 7th, and 8th. You're not going to want to miss Hollywood Mike Miranda's epic BMX. I don't know what we want to even call it at this point. It's a show. It's a swap meet. It's a race. It's music. It's hanging out. Maybe a reunion of sorts, because we're going to be filling that place full of people that just love BMX, like enthusiasts, former pros, racers, and freestyle personalities, YouTubers, vloggers, podcasters, just people, kids, and fun. So if you have an opportunity to go to Dirty Fest, you're going to want to do that, and you won't want to miss out. Okay, let's get down into the nitty-gritty about this build, because although I've wanted to do it in bubblegum pink for good reason, I had some problems. Sean, why pink? Why bubblegum pink? Well, if you know anything about GT and you know anything about the colors, like the yellow, white, Maui blue, lavender, bubblegum pink, these are some of the most iconic GT colors, and bubblegum pink arguably is one of the most rare. So when I wanted to build my final bike, if you will, of the GT race bikes in powder coat, I chose no other than the bubblegum pink, and this is the correct color. This is the right color code. It's not a guess. I did my research. I found the color code. I sent it to Pops. He had that color, and we did this bike. So that's one of the reasons I chose this, because I already have most of the other colors that I wanted up top on other bikes and builds that I've done. But here's the problem. Matching stuff with bubblegum pink is quite hard, and that's why I don't currently have a down tube decal on this bike. You know I did a collaboration with Elite BMX decals for the GT Rad BMX decals. Let me show them to you right here. Okay, here they are right here from Elite BMX decals, the GT Rad BMX Collab down tube and decal set. I have 2 extras in clear, and when I ordered the ones for the bubblegum pink bike, I ordered them with a chrome backing, which is something you can do. But I also heard that other people that bought my frames were requesting custom colors. Okay, when I requested my set for this bike, I ordered the ones with the chrome backing. I put them on there. I thought it looked pretty good until I started building the bike, putting parts and pieces, and then I realized the red and the yellow in that logo and that decal just didn't go with the bike. It didn't matter if it was a chrome background or a clear background. So I think I'm gonna have to sit down and figure out a color combination, maybe these blues or something like that, and have that decal custom made, but I didn't wanna wait for that. I know you wanna see this bike. I wanted to do the reveal. I wanted to talk about the build of this bike, and we're gonna talk about the parts and pieces in the build of this bike. I just needed to get through some of the headaches that I'm having in this much slower than anticipated bike build because I had a lot of these parts and then things changed. I was gonna originally use that number plate right there. That's one of my original RADBMX Builds UL replica plates. And then I decided I really enjoy making number plates. So I thought I would do an Air Uni plate and then just do my own decals. And I love the way it came out. And you can see I used one of the GT Rad BMX decals across the top, but that red and yellow just doesn't go with that. But anyway, I love how the plate came out. Let me know, do you like that? It brings back all those 80s surf vibes and growing up in Southern California and surfing. They were perfect for this build, in my opinion. And it's my bike, so my opinion is the one that matters. But let's talk about some of these parts and pieces and why I chose them, because man, I've got some really nice ones. All right, you can't miss these. The Oakley B1B grips. I've had these, I didn't know what bike I wanted to use them on, and I figured this bike was perfect for them. So I threw the Oakleys on there, and I had these GT, they're 1988 logo, and I don't care about that. I liked the colors. These donuts came from Flite with the white GT and the pink background and bubblegum pink, and I thought, man, that's absolutely perfect. So there they are on the bike. Brake levers are die comps, and I've got these from Pork Chop, along with the die comp brake cables, front and rear. So you can see I got levers on both sides. Cables come down with a nice little cable connect to hold them together. And I decided to run the Nippon style die comp, I think they're 883s on the front and rear of this bike. All right, let's talk handlebars. GT 4-piece chrome handlebars. Without a doubt, these are the ones I wanted to run. I love these bars. They're similar to a performer style bar across the top, then drop down to a 4-piece bar with the stamping on the bottom. And then the mallet stem came from Pops, just like I talked about earlier. So all the pink on this matches absolutely perfect. The headset is from Pork Chop as well, and it's a sealed bearing headset. And then we've got some dyno pads from Flite, and that pink is spot on. The dark blue is pretty rad. I just don't know how to incorporate it yet with the decals, but I really love the pad set, and everyone knows GT and dyno are not the same thing. Two separate companies, and dyno was eventually owned by GT, but dyno was its own company, and before BMX, it was like a BMX clothing, and then they started doing number plates, then they started doing bikes after GT bought them. Two separate names, two separate businesses, two separate logos, but at one point, they got bought out by GT, and at one point, GT got bought out by somebody else, so on and so forth. All right, let's talk tires. These are the Competition 3 tires. They are amazing. You can see these are actual Competition 3 tires. These are the newer repops. These aren't from the 80s. And the yellow label Competition 3 tires are available still. They're getting kind of hard to find, but they're out there. And then I used a Mongoose Pro Class polished wheel, and I put a bubblegum pink, well, that light's really glaring, a bubblegum pink, there you go, rim strip in there to highlight the bike, and finding that color was very hard to do. And then I found a pink, there it is, Dice valve stem cap, and that came from the same guy that I got these decals from, BMX Products on eBay, and he's from Arizona. I get a lot of decals from him as well. And the bubblegum pink on that decal is perfect. Now, these are performer decal set, so obviously I'm not going to use the down tube one. I just wanted to use the fork decal, the head tube decal, and the seat post decal. because they're awesome. The colors look great. I liked the white GT, the blue, because that matches the pad set, and the bubblegum pink. Okay, MKS BM7 pedals, GT Power Series cranks, an OG GT power disc, and OG GT chainring in 42 tooth. And then Pop's Bike Shop gave me the chainring bolts in bubblegum pink, perfect match. And then the black and nickel chain, going all the way back to the enlarged silver washers so I don't scratch up the powder coat. And I used the titanium bolt hardware kit for the cranks, and you can get that at Pork Chop also. A GT saddle, chrome seat guts, chrome seat post, and a polished Dicomp MX seat post clamp, a hinged one, and a Diacomp Nippon Style 883 rear brake with the quick release, just like the front brake. Rear wheel setup is exactly like the front wheel setup, so really not a whole lot difference except for the size. The rear tire is a 20 by 1.75, and the front tire is a 20 by 2.125, a little bit fatter, a little bit bigger all the way around. And that's how you ran them on old school bikes. A little bit of a bigger front tire. Okay, you can see on the back here on the rear left dropout, it's stamped Rad BMX number 25. The 25th out of 25 bikes, the last one. So Craig's not gonna be making any more of these. I know there's been talk and buzz about it, but these ones that are stamped are the only ones that have any association with GT and Rad BMX. Now you can go to his website, gt1972.com, and get yourself a 20-inch retro frame and fork set. But they are not in collaboration with Rad BMX. Those frame sets are only made by Craig Turner and represent only Craig Turner GT. So if you're into that and you want those, by all means, go help my buddy out. Buy yourself a frame set. He's got lots of different ones out there. And you can get yourself, still to this day, more of a GT than any of the other GTs out there that were made after probably 88. This is made by a Turner in the US. So this is more GT than your 90 Pro Series or any of those that were made overseas by random people under a big corporate name. This is made by hand in his garage, just like the old days, with a jig and a welder, and it's pure handmade perfection. Okay, it's crazy that I have to say this literally every video because I get asked literally every time, is this bike for sale? If so, how do I buy it? No, it's not for sale. If ever any bike is for sale, which there are some right now when I'm filming this video, they're on the website at RADBMXBUILDS.com. I've sold 4 bikes this week for people that were able to figure that out. I am not selling this bike. I'm not selling that PK Ripper. I'm not selling that Team Series. I'm selling the bikes that are on the website. If they're not there, they're not for sale. So no, this pink bike, the yellow bike, the white bike, the Maui blue bike, off the table, not happening. Okay, about bikes for sale. 4 of them went out the door this week. So if you wanted one or you want one, don't wait. They sell fast. That's why I always don't have bikes for sale. I put them up there, they sell, they go away, and I never see them again. And someone else gets to enjoy them because they figured out how to go to the website and buy the bike without asking, where do I get a bike? Is that bike for sale? How can I do that? How will you build me one? No, I don't build bikes for other people either. I don't restore bikes for other people either. I'm building bikes for me, for you, so you can watch them on YouTube or other social media pages like Instagram or TikTok. Just because I build bikes doesn't mean I build them for everybody else. I'm not a bike shop. You can't walk in and point a finger at a bike and say, I'll buy that, I'll buy that. It's not the way this works. I'm not a brick and mortar. You can't come visit. Although I would love it if all of you can come over and look at all this stuff and hang out all day. But I don't want you to know where I live. I don't want you to know where I keep all my stuff. It's not personal. It's just smart. Okay, I hope you liked the bubblegum pink bike because it's I know, I say it all the time. It's one of my favorites. I love it. And it's gonna be added to the collection up there, so it's not going anywhere. And I can't wait to add it somewhere. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe we move things around, but that's gonna have to wait because I need to address a concern. When I mentioned I'm going away in another video, some of you are like, oh man, enjoy it. And they were very supportive, but I feel like the thought process was that I was gonna stop making videos. Don't fret, I'm absolutely gonna be making videos, just not here in my shop. I'm gonna be driving across the US to meet up with people, go to bike shows, bike shops, see bike collections, hopefully meet some of you as I'm driving and we can meet up somewhere, have a coffee, talk BMX, something like that. So for the next 4, 5, 6 months, I'm gonna be out and about doing a different type of content, starting with Dirty Fest, and from that point forward, it'll be a different type of content up until about Thanksgiving. I'm gonna keep posting. I'm not gonna turn the channel off for 5 months. I may not be able to produce 2 videos a weekend like I have been, but I'm gonna do my damnedest to put out as much content as I can and still take some time off, because the reason for this trip I haven't disclosed yet. It's exciting, it's huge, and I'll share it later, just not right now. So thank you all so much for all the positivity I've seen lately in the comments. And man, you guys are truly the core, the nucleus of Rad BMX, and I do truly appreciate every single one of you. So thanks for watching, thanks for the support. Give me some comments on this bike, and don't forget to follow Pop's Bike Shop. Check him out on eBay. Support him. He's also a very small business, and he would truly appreciate it. Tell him Sean sent you, and as always, stay rad.